Okay. So the with the HTML that we start working on, are you guys practicing? I gave you some materials to use and some links. So I'm sure you should be uh, you should be moving quite at a level. I expect that by next week we should be done with all of this. Okay, so how many of you are facing challenges? Any difficulty? Any difficulty?
For me, I'm not facing any difficulty.
Okay. Desmond, are you facing any difficulty? Are you facing any challenges?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Collins, are you facing any difficulty?
No, no, sir.
Okay. Desmond Tete,
Sir,
is any difficulty?
no, please.
Okay. George,
Yeah, hello, I'm available.
yeah, are you facing any difficulty with the HTML that we started?
Not difficult for me now. Still on it.
Okay, all right. And no go.
Sir,
Any difficulty?
no, please.
Very well. Prince, any difficulty?
Not yet, sir.
All right. Sarah, I know you can hear me. Any difficulty?
For now, no.
Great. Yes. And Rep, Steven, any difficulty?
No, please.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. Uh, I'm happy to hear that. So speed up so that we'll do a lot more. All right. So today I want to introduce you to can you see my screen? What can you see? Just let me know whether I'm doing the right thing. What can you see?
How
How
domain
domain
name system works.
Great, 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 great. Okay. So let me first of all I have two slides. I'll share with you after the class. So but first of all, I want to know what a DNS is. If I may ask, um, have any of you heard of DNS before? Any of you with any idea of DNS? It's part of the technologies that we need to understand and know. Okay. So anybody with have you heard DNS before? Let me put it that way.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Noble. All right. So tell us what DNS is. Are you browsing
Sir,
before you tell me?
sir, I heard it before, but I don't know about it.
Great. Okay. Very well. All right. So I assume that we are all new to the DNS. Okay. So like I always do, I'll take you to the illustration and then uh, help you out. All right. Okay. So what is DNS? Let me go back to my sketch. Uh, We'll come back to this. So we'll do 1 hour with the DNS, and then we'll come back to the code. Okay. Okay. So by two we should be done with the DNS. All right. DNS. All right. So DNS stands for domain name system. Okay. Domain name system. All right. So when we say domain, gctu.edu.th is a domain. Google.com is a domain. All right. City Newsroom is a domain. bbc.com is a domain. Okay, so these are all domains. So if you don't know what a domain is, I have given you an example of a domain. Okay, so you go on Google, you type something, and then it shows up a link or whatever it is that you're searching. It is what we refer to as the domain. Okay, so we'll go deeper with the domain, but today let's deal with the DNS so that you would understand. Now, again, let me start illustrating something. This is my phone or your phone. Okay, so you have contacts. So there are contacts on your phone, and then the contacts. So on your phone you can have Eric, and his contact is 02438856. Okay, so let me copy. Okay, so you have Eric, you have Sheila, and you have Isaac, maybe you have Mary. Okay, so these are their contacts. Okay, so ordinarily, these are the contacts you have on your phone. Okay, so when you want to make a call, what do? You type Eric. Okay, so in your call logs on your phone, you look for Eric. So once you type Eric, for instance, you want to call Eric. So once you type Eric, Eric's number shows up. Then you can hit the dial. Okay, so once you hit the dial, it goes to call the contacts, which is this. Okay, so the phone calls this number, and then it establishes a contact through you, and then you can start your conversation. But what if you have stored the numbers and there is no name attached to the numbers? Imagine there are no names, but you have these contacts information on your callers. How can you tell which one is Eric and which one is Mary and which one is Sheila? Do you understand? I have made it so simple for you to understand. That is what the domain name system does. Okay. That is what the domain name system does. So because all domains, okay, so all domains are basically IP. Okay. This is it. There you go. There you go. Okay, so let's 198.197.24.212 .0.212. So this is let's say 198 copy. Let's say this one is 213. And let's say this one is 12. Okay. So because human beings cannot remember numbers, okay, or figures top of our head, imagine the world where we needed to memorize all these websites, what was the name? An IP address. So this is an IP address. Okay. IP address. So what is an IP address? IP address uniquely. So it identifies, okay, identifies a domain or server. Okay. All right. So the IP address uniquely identifies a domain or a server. So for instance, this these are computers, okay? So these are computers. All right. So for communication to happen between the computers, there you go, that way, this way, that way, that way, and that. Okay, this is how computers communicate. Okay. So as I'm sitting here having a class with you, if this is my computer, I am hitting a server, okay? And that server is the Zoom server. Okay, I'm hitting that Zoom server. That Zoom server is sharing that information to all of you. That is why we are able to have the class. Okay, so we are having the class through IP address. So the IP address identifies this machine, identifies that machine, identifies this machine, identifies that machine. Okay, so that is how um, computers communicate. Okay, yes. So computers understand numbers. Okay, the computers are built primarily to understand numbers. Do you understand? Okay, so the way I speak to you in English language, okay, the way we are having the class in English language, it is a language that you understand. Okay, so whatever I'm saying, it is clear to you. You understand? So the same way computers communicate, okay, via numbers, okay, zeros and ones. That is how computers communicate. Okay, so for the computer to communicate, it needs the IP address. Okay, what it means is that this would have a unique IP address. Okay, and that IP address identifies this computer. Another IP address identifies that computer. Another IP address identifies this computer in that same order. Okay, so if I send a message from here, okay, it has to hit this IP address. This IP address has to send that information to this like that in that order. So there is that synergy. There is that flow. Okay, so that's one thing you should understand. Okay, so never lose track of this. Computers, okay, communicate via IP address. All right. So there you go. Now, imagine that in a world where we needed to memorize IP addresses, it's going to be a total confusion. Okay, so I made an example here that imagine you have saved, I have a contact list of about over 1,000 people on my list. Okay, and I've saved all of their numbers. And imagine that I have saved all these numbers without attaching a name. Okay, it'll be very difficult to even tell the contact I have on my list. If, for instance, I want to call maybe my uncle somewhere, it will be very difficult to do so. But once I have the name saved against the number, immediately I go to my call logs or my contact list and I search the name of my uncle. It will pull up what's the number, then I can dial. That is the same way the domain name system behaves. Okay, so the domain name system, so once you have your browser and you type in this domain, okay, automatically, okay, let me just create space here. Okay, so I'm just creating space here. Okay, so if I dial this, say bbc.com, bbc.com in my browser, what is happening is that the domain name system converts this BBC to the IP address. So this is the IP address. Are you getting it? Before I can establish a conversation, before I can browse the internet, before I can locate a resource, before I can do my downloads, before I can do everything. So basically, it happens within a split second. It happens very quick. Okay, so there is that conversion. So the domain name system, it is the technology that is doing that conversion for you. Okay, so sometimes you want to tell somebody, oh, go to this site and go and download maybe a file or something like that. Okay, basically what you are doing is that you are telling your friend to go to this IP address. Okay, invariably. Do you get it? But your friend is able to recall what's the name? The domain, because human beings read letters. Okay, human beings read letters. We are very good with letters. You understand? That is, our names are in letters. Everything we do is in letter. Okay, sometimes alphanumeric, but largely it is a letter-based system. Okay, that is why we are able to write our names. That is why we are able to write letters. That's why we're able to write all that we are doing. Okay, but on the computer, it is converted. So the DNS is responsible for converting the domain to the IP address. Who is not clear? I'm hanging on for some seconds to see who is not clear. Okay, that is made clear. Thank you very much. So it means that we all understand what a domain name system is or what it does. Okay, so let's go to my slide and see what we have there. Okay, yes, okay, so what is DNS? Okay, so we can say that DNS is the Internet Directory Service. So just like the illustration I gave, that on our mobile phones, we store contacts. Okay, so contact of our families, our relations, our friends. Okay, so the internet does the same thing. So the internet is basically also can be said to be an internet directory. The DNS can be said to be an internet directory. Okay. Now, the second point is that a client-server application that maps host name to their corresponding IP address. So that's what I just explained. Okay, so mapping host names to their corresponding IP address is called name mapping. Okay, so it's all within the DNS. That is what is happening. Okay, so why we need to use names instead of IP address? I mentioned that IP addresses are difficult to remember. Okay, so just like this IP address. Now, if I close this computer, or if I shut down now, it would be very difficult for me to recall, some of these numbers that are even used. Do you understand? Okay, so yes, and also IP addresses can change. Okay, so just as you know this, sometimes in the course of communicating with the system, IP addresses can change, especially when you are doing server administration and all of that. IP addresses change all the time. Okay, that is why those network people or network administrators, what they do is that when they want to assign an IP address to to a computer to access the internet, they use what we call the DHCP, that is the dynamic IP address. So automatically, the system generates its own IP address to be able to connect to the internet. So IP addresses can change. That is why it becomes very difficult, very, 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 very difficult to memorize IP addresses, and all of that. So the domain name system is a helpful technology that helps us to be able to map our domains, to IP addresses. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Yes. Okay, so that is the problem I stated earlier. Network only understand numeric addresses. Yes. Okay, so computers understand only numbers. Okay, so let me illustrate something here. Now, when you send, let's imagine that. Okay. Okay, so this is my laptop. Okay, that is my, let's say this is my keyboard. Now, I have prepared an email that I want to send. Okay, so I want to send to this person, or maybe let's say the person is using a phone. Okay, so I have typed the letter. Okay, yeah, DSL, an illustration I'm giving you. Kindly find attached. So we all do this thing when we send emails and all of that. Okay. All right. So once I send this in an email, okay, now there is going to be zeros and ones. Sorry, 11, 0, 0, 11, 0, 0. So okay, so sometimes this is how okay, so even before this text, okay, like I said, human beings are friendly with letters, but computers communicate via numbers. So the letter that I've written, this thing that I've written, this is a conversion. So it converts in the line of communicating, and then it comes back. It comes to arrange, that same email on the person's phone, like that. That's how it works. Okay. So when you send anything, data. Okay. So when I say data, you know what I mean. It can be a video, it can be an audio, it can be a picture. Okay. It can be any file that you have downloaded, you are sending to somebody. Okay. All of that. So once you send via your computer, this is what happens behind the scenes. So the computer converts all of this into numbers. Okay, so human beings cannot, I can bet my last coin that nobody will be able to remember this top of the head every time. Okay, you be confused, or you messed up the numbers and all of that. Okay, so in communicating, this is what happens behind the scene. Okay, so is DNS. So the DNS is a very, 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 very helpful technology. Okay, so once you are into web design and all of that, you need to understand how this one works. So sometimes a client will say, "Oh, my site is not showing up," or "My site is down. My site is not coming." Then you can go into your system or your server and see if it is a DNS issue or internet issue or any other issue or any other problem that accounts for your client unable to access his what's the name, website and all of that. Then you can go into it and see, oh, I made a mistake. I needed to change this IP address and all of that. Okay, so this is the domain name system for you. Okay, so let me go back to my. Okay, so that's a history. At least it says when I just did a small text, so at least you can have some briefing space. When the internet was small, mapping was done using a host file. A host file had only 2 columns and all of that. So these are This is just a brief history, okay, how it worked. Now, let's talk about the hierarchy of name servers. Okay, let's talk about name servers. Now, let me break it down again. Let me see if I have the, okay. Let me clear the, okay. All right, so I'm at liberty to empty this page. Okay. All right. Okay. So we want to talk about name service, actually, how it works. Let me see if I have, yes, okay. So I have to share the two files with you. Okay. Yes. So let me go through this. Okay, so this is how it works, and then we can get to the name service. Okay, so I explained that the DNS translates the domain and hosts names to IP addresses. Okay, so automatically converts the names we type in our web browser address bar to the IP address of the website hosting those sites. Okay, so okay, so this is my address bar, and then this is my server. Okay, my server has an IP address of 198.34 and 192.0.889. Okay, so this is my IP address. Okay, so now I type in maybe techvisions.com. So this is my computer, and then this is my server. Okay, so I can have several of the servers here. So imagine that these servers are located in different places. Don't forget, they will all have their IP addresses. Okay, so they all have their IP addresses. Okay, so let me change it. Let me change this 1, 2. Let me change this. Okay. Now, when you type this, okay, when you type this in your address bar, and then the file, I mentioned that the website is a folder. Okay, so let's say if the folder is residing here, okay, so TV, Tech Vision. Okay, so this is it. Now, when you type this, there's going to be that search. Okay. Sorry, let me undo. Okay, so when you type this, the domain name, the DNS, okay, so the DNS converts, and then it goes all the way. Okay, so looking for the server, okay, that has the Tech Vision website hosted. Okay, so to be just be roaming. Oh, it's not here. Let me move. So that is how the internet is behaving. Oh, it's not here. Let me move. Okay, let me go back. Okay. Oh, it's not this. Oh, not this. Okay. Oh, is this? Is here. Okay, so automatically the DNS has mapped this URL to its folder. So sometimes this can be located, maybe this can be located in New Zealand, my server. Okay, so New Zealand. Okay, maybe this one is in, let's say this one is in Australia. Okay, Australia. Okay. There you go. Okay. So it goes searching for the servers, where the servers are located, and then pulls out the maps it to the server with that IP. Okay. And then once it sees the folder, which is the website folder, then you have your website displayed. Okay. If it doesn't see it, that is where you see server not found. Okay, server not found, or you see what we call 404. Okay, so that is how it works. Are we getting it? So let's go back to the slide. All right, so it says DNS automatically convert the names we type in our web browser address bar to the addresses of the web server hosting those sites. Okay, so this is the web server hosting the techvisions.com. Okay, so all the domains that you are seeing in the world as I speak, okay, a lot of them uncountable. So it makes it very promising, because as tech enthusiasts, as tech people, you are definitely going to get a job to do. So imagine the number of domains that exist, number of websites that is in the system. You need to be updating websites, you need to be updating mobile app, you need to be updating this, you need to be creating, developing, doing a lot of things. Okay. So there's that is why the tech industry is huge. All right. Okay. So once it gets the resource or the website that is hosted within the server, then you can have your sites. Okay. And then you can see maybe some banner here. You can see CEO's message, those things. Okay. So for instance, yes, this is BBC. Okay. Yes. So let me see, as this is just Al Jazeera. Let me see if I can search any websites. Okay. Harry British. Okay, so this is a website that I don't know if it still exists. I developed for somebody so many years ago. Yes. Okay. So this is an example. So it means that once I typed in this, okay, it got convected by the DNS, and then it hits the server. Okay. So now I'm able to see my page. Now imagine I add H. You see, it says, well, the site can be reached, meaning that there is no web server that is hosting this domain. Okay, that is hosting this domain. So you won't get any resource. But if I move it, if I correct it here, okay, now you can see it. So you can see whenever you are searching a site or you type in a URL and it's loading. Okay, uh, the loading time is what you are seeing here. All these black things that you are seeing. So it's searching. Okay, but it does that in a very quick succession. So you will hardly notice it. Okay, that is it. So you can see it will be loading, waiting for the resource to show up. Okay, all right. So let's make progress. Okay, so it says we do so because it is easy to remember names than to remember long decimal numbers. Yes. Okay, so for example, router maps to this and all of that. Okay, so devices involved. DNS server says translates easily memorable domain names to numerical IP. Okay, so I've done that. All right, so when we enter the URL in the web browser, it says the first place our computer looks is the local DNS. Good. So let's go back to okay, so there is a local DNS. I'm doing a lot at a very slow pace for you to understand, because sometimes when you don't understand, when you don't get the understanding, then writing an exam for me becomes a problem. Okay, so first of all, we are dealing with what we call local DNS. Okay, you know what the domain name system does already. So we want to look at local DNS. Okay, so again, let me draw up my server. Sorry, my computer with the browser. Now, okay, so again, I'll take my time and explain this. Okay, now, have you noticed that most of the sites that we visit on our laptops, on our computer, hold on, I'm coming. Okay, so have you realized or noticed that oh, okay, give me a second. Let me see this. Give me a second. Let me do this. Okay. Now, have you noticed that on our laptops, the sites that we visit often, normally when you want to visit the site again, the browser address bar automatically brings up the sites that we have already visited before. Have you noticed that thing? Please, please, yeah, please talk to me. Have you noticed that thing before?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Yes, sir.
great. Yes, yes. Yes, who mentioned my name? You want to say something? Okay. All right. So you notice that sometimes we visit websites, and then when we want to visit the same website again, even the address bar shows or gives us like the link that we have visited in the past. Okay. So that is the local DNS. Okay. So once I have so bbc.com 198.21.0.212. Okay. All right. So if the DNS has converted the BBC for me, and I'm able to view the websites, okay, and all of that. Now, this whole history, okay, or this whole DNS gets stored in what we call local DNS. So it is the computers, your local computer, which is your laptop. Okay, so it stores within your laptop. Okay, that is why when you are visiting some sites for the first time, you don't see any what's the name in the address bar. You don't see any guests. Like you don't get to see any. You realize that it is fresh. Now immediately you visit that website, it gets stored in the local DNS. It gets stored. So every website that you are so sometimes on our browsers, uh, when you want to maybe clear your cache or your history in the browser, you have to go to your settings. If it's Chrome that you are using, you have to go to your settings and clear the cache. So when you clear the cache, you have cleared your local DNS. Okay, so it means that once you are visiting the website, it won't give you a pop-up. It won't give you a notification that, oh, you have visited this website already. Okay, so normally what this does is that it speeds up, it helps us to browse the internet very fast. Okay, so immediately you type in a site that you have visited already, all that is done is that it has stored in the local cache. So the communication has been established with the server already. Okay, so there is no need to re-establish any communication or any link with the server. It is there. So now all that is stored in what we call the local cache. Get the difference? Okay, that is stored in what we call the local DNS or the cache. Okay, so let's move on. So okay, so that's the local DNS cache. So we store information, blah 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 blah. Okay, so now if our computer doesn't already have it, it needs to perform a DNS query to find out. Okay, now, so this is it. So asking recursive DNS. So if your computer does not have the domain name in its local cache, then it requests the DNS server over ISP. Okay, so what is an ISP? ISP is Internet Service Provider. So ISP. Give me an example of an ISP. Name them. Yes.
MTN.
Thank you. MTN. Yes.
Telecel.
Telecel. Yes.
Glow.
Hey, is Glow still in the system?
I don't know. I'm sure.
It's been a while. I mean, I even see the I don't remember the last time well, I don't know, but yeah. So these are examples of ISP. So ISP, uh, Internet Service Provider. Yeah. Okay. So what does it do? Let's go back. Okay. So now let's assume that we are typing this for the first time. It is not in our local DNS. Okay, so once you type it in your address bar, it goes to look up in the ISP's system. So let's assume that this is MTN service. Okay, this is MTN server. So, let me tell you one thing. If you commit a crime and then they want to get you, they will get you. It's just that sometimes they don't, they just want to, let go. Okay. The kind of things we are downloading, if we were to be in the US and in the Australias, and we would have been arrested. A lot of us are doing what's the name? Torrents. You download stuff, movies, some kind of stuff online you're doing and all of that, thinking that people are not seeing you. Sometimes they will say, "Oh, I will use VPN and all of that." They will still see, they will still know. Okay, why? Because the IP address tells them the country where that request is coming from. Don't forget, I talk about requests. So you know what a request is. I'm not repeating it. Okay. So if this is my IP, okay, so 198.0.2.212. If this is my IP, okay, and I make a request. So this is a new entry. I make a request. Don't forget that MTN also has an IP, 198. This is the two. That's 123. Okay, so for example, now if this is MTN's IP address, their server. Okay, so what it means is that once you type in this, okay, imagine it's a new request that we are making. You are sending this, okay, to the server. Okay, so basically this is what you are doing. You are communicating with, you are communicating between this IP and that IP address. This IP and that IP address. Okay, so in the case where the resource you are looking for is not on MTN's server, then the MTN server will also look at, they'll also be searching for, what's the name? What's the name of this thing? Okay, what's the, do the main IP? Yeah. It's, let me pull up this whole thing here. Okay. So once you make a request and then the MTN doesn't it doesn't have it, they will also make the request, okay, to the main or central ISP. Okay, so let's say this is, okay, so this is Africa. Okay, so MTN. Okay, so this is Ghana. Okay, so should Africa not also have the resource, then they will go to the world. This is how it works. Okay. Yes. So immediately you type in this DNS get converted. Okay. And then it hits the node. Okay. So this is the MTN service. It hits it. If MTN doesn't have the resource, don't forget that the MTN also has a local DNS. Okay. Which is a cache within their system. Okay. So yes.
So from what you are teaching us now, does it mean that MTN can decide to block a particular site from
Yes.
operating?
Yes, they can block it.
Okay.
Yes, they can block it. Because what it means is that whatever request that you have, because they are the ISPs, that they are the ISP that is one of the major players in the industry, and they are responsible for taking requests and all of that. They can actually block a site. They can. So it means that once you block a site, that is where people try to use what we call VPN. Okay. Yes. The Game Boys and all of those, they love using VPN because of the crime they are committing. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that whatever crime that whatever it is that you are doing, you can easily be picked up, because look at the communication. Look at how it goes. Okay, now this is you. This is your laptop. Okay, with an IP. Okay, you make a request. It goes all the way. Okay, if it doesn't have if it hasn't stored it in the local DNS. Okay, so let me get back. Okay, so local DNS. Okay, so this is your browser. Okay, so now once you are visiting this site for the first time, okay, DNS converted, and then okay, it doesn't have it in the local DNS. It goes all the way to MTN. If MTN has it in its local DNS, it doesn't have to travel to Africa and then to the world. It will just give you back the response. Okay. But if MTN doesn't have it within its system, then it will look it up on Africa service and then go to the world and all of that. So all of these things, one night dot 03 dot 0 dot 2 and 4. Okay. So an example that I'm given. Okay, so let's say this one is 211. Okay. So you can see where the communication starts from. It starts from here, gets to MTN, and then gets to Africa. If it doesn't still have it, and then the world. Okay. So over time, for instance, in 1 year, MTN can store a lot of sites or links within its local DNS that it doesn't need to go all the way to Africa and then to the world to be able to bring you a resource. Do you understand? So if you imagine the number of people in the country, they are all browsing different things at different times and all of that. Okay. So MTN stores it within its local DNS. So what it means is that once you are looking for a resource that your friend has visited, but it is not on your local computer, on your laptop, but it's sitting on MTN's DNS or MTN service. Okay, because your friend has searched it before, it automatically give you that same resource for you. That is why sometimes it helps our internet to speed up. This is what happens. Okay, so imagine that if without a local DNS every time, okay, so there's a local DNS also to Africa. And then there's a local, so they are all local within itself. Okay, so this is the master, this is what we call the main. Okay. All right, so even before a request will reach the main, all right, I'm not sure the main doesn't know all these requests that are coming in. It knows everything. Okay, so for instance, for example, in Ghana, in the month of November, a lot of people do DV lottery. Okay. So a lot of people do DV lottery. Okay. And then they know. So you have DV lottery sitting in the MTN local DNS. So anytime you type DV lottery, it doesn't need to travel. It will just bring you the resource back. So that is how it goes. When you type in Facebook, doesn't need to travel. It knows Facebook already. It has stored in the DNS. When you type X, it doesn't, I mean, like that. Okay. And Wikipedia and all of these. Okay. So within over a period of time, the local DNS stores almost everything that we have searched for, and then gives us the response and all of that. Okay, so that is what. Okay, so that is what happens. All right. Okay. Any question? So you make progress. Any question? I'm sure with this illustration, everything is clear to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite clear, but I have a question which is not directly linked to the DNS service we are talking about currently. I don't know if there's a good time for that question.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see.
Yeah, so I was wondering, this whole system, right? How do they monetize the website we visit?
Oh, come again. I didn't hear that.
So I'm seeing this whole flow here where a client connects to a website, say a website through an ISP, right? And they have domain names in Africa and in the main one, this whole system,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking, how is this monetized? How is me accessing the website giving MTN money?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. There's what we call is AdSense. Okay. You let me just okay, it's a feature. It's a feature on Google. Okay. So it's a service. This is what happens. Now, let me see if I can do something here. You know that you buy data. Don't you buy data?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you buy data to access the internet. Now, if you buy the data, MTN, if the data you bought, you're supposed to get 10 GB per the amount. Okay, so let's say 10 GB for 300 cities. That's an example. Okay, so instead of 10 GB, MTN will give you 8. Okay, once they give you 8, the remaining 2 is monetized. Then so if it's 10 GB 300, 8 GB will be somewhere 250. 250. Do you get it? But you have paid 300. So you will pay 300. You pay 300. And then MTN keeps 2 gig, 2 GB. Do you get it?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I'm following.
Yeah. Yeah. So once you get it to once MTN gets the 2 GB, that is even for individual. That is you alone. Do you understand?
Yeah,
So if MTN gets 2 GB from your data that you have bought, MTN gets 2 GB from my data, and even for the entire class, we are 14. So 14 times 2 GB, what do we have?
28.
28. Okay. So this 28 this 28 GB is a spare data that they can resell. Do you get it?
Yeah,
So imagine that now you have bought 8. So look at it. So that the 8 that you have bought. So if I should take the 8 again out of that, I'll be left with 20, and then it's still going to be sold for 300. And then so the cycle continues. That is how they make their money. You understand? So in for instance, on Facebook and YouTube, their system is monetized such that the longer you stay, okay, the longer you stay on their system, on their page, or the longer the more people join the page, the more people are viewing content on the page, okay, they are getting money, okay, and out of the money they are getting, they will give you some portion for you to keep creating content. You understand? So the content that you are creating, if it's a content that is relatable to people, a lot of people will come online and sit on their platform and be watching. If it's a video content that you have created, a lot of people will come on their platform and be watching. Okay, so once they are watching the video, they are staying on the video. Before you realize, there is an ad that passes through, then advert will pass through the video content that you are watching. They have bought that space. Okay, so they have captured a bit of your content, okay, to create an ad. So in this instance, the ad company pays for it. Okay, so once the ad company pays for it over time, then the money they're able to generate, they will pass some percentage of that money to you as a content creator. Is it is
okay.
it is it clear?
Yeah, that's good. So does that mean MTN pays YouTube so that I can access YouTube?
MTN pays in what sense?
Because I mean, say YouTube's website, right? And
Yeah.
the client, the user wants to access their website. I would need data, right? And I buy that data from MTN. So
Yeah,
does
you
that
buy that
mean
data from. Mhm.
does that mean that MTN would have to pay YouTube
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
yes, there's a percentage because the thing is that there's a percentage of amount of money that goes to them. Because the thing is that what if YouTube blocks what's the name, their service? That means you can't access content. Can you? No, you can't access content. Okay, so in as much as YouTube has made their platform open and people are creating content and making money, there is that percentage that goes to them. Because the thing is that how do you expect them to manage their service?
yeah,
How do, yeah, how do you expect them to pay technicians? How do you expect them to pay power for power? Because power is very expensive because they have to make sure their servers are on 24/7, 99.9%. That is why somebody in Australia, somebody in Mexico, somebody in China can browse YouTube regardless of the time because they have to pay people to manage the servers. Do you understand? So
yeah,
so yeah, so nothing is for free. It is in a circle. Okay, is some kind of a cycle, I should say. Okay, so the MTN, that is why a lot of people are complaining that you buy data and then the data runs faster. All of these things plays into it. You understand? All of these things plays into it. So you will keep buying data. That's the only way they will take your money from your pocket. Because even as it stands now that we are having a class, I'm using a data, okay, data that have been bought. You understand? So if the data is used up, we have to buy again. Okay, so directly they are taking money from our pockets. Do you understand? So that is how it works. Okay. I don't know if it's clear for you and
yeah,
for
yeah.
your colleague.
I
Yeah.
mean, for YouTube is a big institution, a big corporation. But say I create my website, right, and then I want to get that kind of money from MTN. Um, is that possible, or there are like parameters in place?
No, rephrase your question again.
So for YouTube, I understand YouTube is a big corporation, right? And they have like a pool. But say for me, I create a website and I host the website,
Okay,
right?
well, let me ask you, what website do you want to create? Because it depends. What website do you want to create?
Maybe just like a blog or website where update resources. I mean, for a specific um industry, say graphic designers. So I just upload resources for them, and anywhere you are, you just access the website, download the resource that you need.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let me with what you just mentioned. I think let me take you to three quick. Yes, okay. So now, yes, it's up. You see, so this is for instance an example of what you just mentioned. Okay. This is an example of what you just mentioned. Say you have resource and then you have people upload their resource and all of that. Now, let me um, let me see if I can get, yes. Oh no, I just needed okay, let me go back. Okay, so let's say business flyer. Okay. Now I just want to maybe I just want to work on this. Okay, I want to see if Okay, so I can download. Let me see if they have taken this thing. Okay. This is the free version. All right. Hold on, let me show you something. Okay. No, okay. So let's go back to a normal block. A normal block. Okay, so this is my join online. Okay. This is my join online. So this is an example. What do? They put up news and all of that. Okay, for people to access. Now, when you look here, this box here is an advert. Okay, a placeholder for an advert. This is a placeholder for an advert. Let's go through it. This is an advert. Okay, it is an advert. You can see asked by Google. Okay, so this is an advert. This is an advert. Okay, this is an advert. This is an advert. This is an advert. This one. Okay, this is an advert. This is an advert. One page, just one page. Look at it. This is an advert. This is an advert. That is an advert. This. Look at it. This is an advert. This is an advert. Okay. So once I come here and I load the page, there's something we call first impression. It is assumed that once I am on this Joy Online news portal, I have seen this. So we call it an impression. Okay. We call it an impression. So if I scroll up, this is an impression. This is an impression. This is an impression. This is an impression. They come in their various sizes, depending on the price. So for the top, this one is in a region of $300 a month. Okay, this thing that you're seeing here, it's about $300 a month. This could be about $120 or $100 a month. So you can imagine the number of adverts that is running on the page. Okay, so immediately I click it. That is money there. That is money. Okay, so immediately I just clicked this, and then it opened this link for me. Okay, so now the DNS or the my Joy Online, they have tracked it, so they know that a user with this IP address at this time 2:20 p.m. clicked on this. Okay, so they use what we call the impression to generate their money. So I am on the site. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have known that there is a property called Regalia or something like that. But because I know of Joy Online, I come in for news, and then they have flashed the page with their advert and all of that. Once I click on it, it takes me here. That is money generated. Okay, so this is money. So now once I visit this place, okay, it has already stored in my cache in my local DNS. So if I want to visit again, I don't need to go to my Joy Online. Immediately I type in Regalia, it will show up. Okay, so this is how they make their money. So so let me just click truly hot now. Okay, that's Gino. You see, so Gino has opened. Do you understand? So it is money. So the things that you are clicking, it is money that you are generating for people. Okay, but the thing is that they are also creating content for you in the form of a news. Okay, because you want to read news. Okay, and all of that. So in the same way, those on Twitter and those on those on X and Instagram, creating video content and all of that, the more you are watching, the more you spend hours, minutes watching. There are certain videos you can't watch it once. Sometimes you can watch it 10 times. Now that 10 times that you've watched that video is money. You understand? Is money for them. Okay, that is why they go the extra mile to create whatever content they want to create. So now when you log into Instagram, it's all content all over the place. Okay, a relatable content that makes sense. Those that don't make sense, they're also there, but people like them. Okay, so it's all money that they are generating. So they are generating all this money out of the what's the name? Out of the data that you bought. Because obviously, if I have a 2 gig of data and I've logged into Instagram, okay, and the more I spend watching videos, my data will be used up and I have to buy again. That is what happens. So that is why people are complaining, oh, they buy data and then their data is running fast, they buy data. It's all money. Okay, because you are spending much time making money for them by watching their videos, by that is why some people will specifically tell you, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my page. It is not for any reason. The reason is just to make money. You understand? But you see, it is not direct, so you wouldn't see it. But the more you are buying data, the more they are taking money from your pockets. All right. Yeah. So I think that is very exhaustive. Okay. So let's go back to yes. Okay. All right. So it's good you brought this question up. I mean, it has given us some understanding and all of that. Okay. All right. Any question? Any other questions so that we can move on? Okay. All right. So that is the DNA. So we will continue. All right. Like I mentioned, the things that we are treating, don't just end at my slide. You have to read more. Okay. I think I told you from the beginning of the class that you have to read more. Yeah, okay. Many of the things that may come in the exams will be beyond the lecture. Clearly, I mean, so this is to give you an in-depth understanding of how the system works or how the entire ecosystem works, so that once you are reading, you understand. You have that understanding from the class, then you can build on that. Okay, so it's not like, oh, you have to read everything about this man's lecture and all of that. No, my questions go beyond. Then they are scenario questions, so you need to understand it before you can answer scenario questions. Then scenario questions you don't copy, you can't even copy. Okay, scenario question, you write your own English. You understand? That is why I take the time to make you understand. And because I mean, once you get out there and you are working, uh, you have an idea of what you really are doing. All right, so let's make progress. Okay, so the step 2, recursive DNS servers. Okay, so it says if our computer does not have the domain name, it needs local cache. Yes, I mentioned it. So don't forget that all of these has DNS system and it has local cache. So MTN has local cache. So you can imagine the time MTN started operating in Ghana, they have built enough cache that that there is nothing that you are looking for now that they would have to go search for it. No. I mean, quite a number of, unless of course, very new stuff. Okay. So have that at the back of your mind. It says if it has this information, the process ends here. Yeah. So like what I explained, once it has the local DNS has the information that you're looking for, it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, then the reply is sent back to our computer. So this is the roots. Okay, so we call it the roots. Okay, so the root name server. All right, I think that's what, yes, so this is the root. So the root main server. Okay, so if you check This is the mean. Okay. So the roots. Okay. So, all right. So that's the, okay. So this is the roots. Let's go back to, okay. Accent top level domain. Okay. The root name service will look at the first part of our request. Okay, reading from left to right, www.bbabc.com, and direct our query to the top level domain name service for com, org, and all of that. Okay, so there's what we call top level domain. Okay, so I can clear this. Okay, so TLD, top level domain. Again, try and read more about it. Okay. Country domain. Okay, so an example of country domain is say MTN www.mtn.com.gh. So that's country level. Okay, so you can see this is the country. So if it's NG is Nigeria, if it's ZA is South Africa. Okay, that's KE, I think it's Kenya. So it's there. All right. Okay, so this is country domain. Okay. So gct.edu.gh. Okay, and .gh. So this is educational. Okay, because of the edu. Okay, so normal.com is the top level domain. Okay, so I think we'll come back. I think I have a slide on domain, which we'll share. Okay, so these are top level domains. All right. So .com, org, okay, all of that's a top level domain. Now we have the authoritative DNS server. Authoritative DNS server. What does it do? Let me go back to the drawing. Oh, I've cleared it. So the authoritative DNS server, I think we did the main. I did the main, I remember. Okay. So this is the authoritative. This is the main or roots. Okay, so the authoritative DNS server, it is the last resort. The last resort. So whatever you are looking for and all the other DNS servers doesn't have it. Authoritative has it. If authoritative doesn't have it, that information is not in the world. So this is the last resort of DNS queries that we know. All right. So we call it authoritative. So the authoritative act as a central pool where the entire world information is or can be found. So if the authoritative DNS server doesn't have that information that you are looking for, it doesn't exist. That is the bottom line. It doesn't exist. Okay. All right. So because I have explained it and all that. So, all right. The recursive service retrieve the record for blah 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 from the authoritative name service and stores the record in its local cache. If anyone else requests the host from previous, the recursive will already have the answer. I will not need to go through the lookup process again. Okay. Yes. So I mentioned that once you get a resource, okay, it stays within the local cache, okay, or local DNS cache. All right, so that you don't go around looking for another information again. So automatically it saves you that information that you have you visited or you have looked for in the past. Okay.
I call out for job. You never pick my phone.
Are we safe? Are we safe? Okay. All right. Okay. So this is the flow. All right. So the user is your personal laptop. Like I said, authoritative is the last resort. Okay. So when I share this slide with you, go and do extensive study. Okay, I repeat, go and do extensive study. It is just for you to get the understanding. All right. So if I ask any question on DNS, I don't want to say I don't understand and all of these things. Okay. So I'm going to share it with you. Yes. Okay. So this is an example of how the DNS works. So you can see this is my laptop. Okay. This is my laptop. So it goes search the DNS server. So this is the DNS server. So it says I don't have user already in my DB or cache. I'll try another DNS server. Okay. Oh, it says it doesn't have. Then let me go to 3. Okay. Oh, it says that's in my cache. It maps to this IP address. It moves. Oh, great. I'll cache it for some time in case I get more requests. Okay. There you go. Then once it gets the requests, it prints out the request on your screen. Okay. Then your personal laptop again will store it in the local cache. We good? All right. So I'm going to share the 2 slides with you. Class rep, the video on Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday, I asked that you share with me, but I haven't heard anything from you.
Okay, I'll send it to you right away.
But your colleagues, do they have it? Did you share
Yes,
with
they
them?
have it. I've shared it with them.
Okay, great. So do share with me. Let me
Okay.
let me see the areas that I have left out, and then okay. All right. So let me mark the register, and then we'll meet on Wednesday. All right. Okay. So I'm going to share these things with you. Please don't forget, do extensive study on DNS. All right. Okay. So yes, Steven is here. I mentioned that Wednesday I want to see I want to see a site that you have designed. Anything. Okay. Anything. I want to test your strength and see something. So Wednesday, be prepared to share your screen. Wednesday. Okay. Be prepared to share your screen. All right. So Emmanuel, I don't know why he doesn't come to class. Is he here? Okay. George,
Yes, I'm here.
Present. I'm present.
I heard two voices. Which one?
This is Emmanuel.
Hey, Emmanuel, you've been absent for two sessions. What happened?
Yes, I think that was on Wednesday.
And Thursday.
Yeah, I just realized it came on. I thought it didn't come on.
Hey, wow.
So
Okay.
I knew it better. I don't know.
Okay. So you intentionally opted out, right?
That's no intentional, sir.
Okay. No issue. Elvis. Okay. Thank you. Adams. Adams, did you make it today?
Yeah, please. Adam
Yes,
said
sir.
he. Ah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, he's here. I see HP. Okay. All right. Prince.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Collins Obinodro.
Yes, sir.
Brown. Yes, I've seen Brown. Brown is around. Alex. Absent. Sarah is around. I've seen her. Desmond. Edu. I've seen you. Francis. Francis. Francis didn't make it today. Okay. Tete Desmond.
Present.
Okay. Yes. Andrew. Andrew Nyako. Okay, he didn't make it today. That's fine.
Present.
Hey, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So
I'm
I'll
here.
okay, very well, very well. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Please, Wednesday, I want to see you. Okay, Wednesday, I want to see your sites. So if anything that you have done. Okay, so um be prepared to share your screen. Okay, so 8 p.m. Wednesday we are meeting. All right. So thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the
Sir,
evening.
sir,
Yes. Yes.
sir, please come again. What did you say?
Wednesday, 8
Yeah,
p. Okay, 8 p.m. I want to
yeah,
see I want to see the sites that you have been able to do from our code, from what we have done Wednesday, Thursday. I want to see you put that in action. So I want to see whatever it is that you have done. So you are preparing, you prepare to share your screen. You will share your screen with me on Wednesday. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. All right. So enjoy the evening. Bye bye.
Hello.
Hello. You dey craze. Why you can't talk hello? It be only you dey here. Foolish boy.
Hello. 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 I'm testing my speaker. The speaker wasn't working.
Charlie Jagger, Sean the fool. Nobody for here be your mate too. Sean the fool.
Nobel. Nobel.
Yes, boss.
Salomania, when is the next class?
It be 3 to 5.
3 to 5, okay. Oh, it's almost time.
Yeah. I beg. Make we dey see you on our face. Eh? We dey want know some of you for the class.
Hello? It's not sounding.
I hear you.